Assalamu alaikum and welcome to today's Sufi teachings. This Sufi teaching series we call Community Connection occurs on the first Sunday of every month at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. It is organized and underwritten by Sufi Center Minnesota with the intention of making the Sufi teachings of peace, love, mercy, justice, freedom, and beauty available to people everywhere. We acknowledge that the land Sufi Center is located on is the traditional and ancestral homeland of the Dakota and Midwakanen tribes. Sufi Center Minnesota recognizes and respects the enduring relationship that exists between many indigenous peoples and their traditional homelands. We are excited and grateful to have Latif and Nura Sorensen with us today. For almost 40 years, Latif and Nura have been spiritual seekers. He has been a successful businessman, CPA, consultant, coach, teacher, and healer. She is a mother, healer, teacher, and mentor. They both are graduates of the University of Spiritual Healing and Sufism. They are Sufi master teachers and healers and former teachers of yoga and meditation. He is a Muqaddam Murrabi Ruhi in the Shadhuliyya Sufi order, a position which carries the responsibility for guiding and assisting people throughout the community. She is a Muqaddam Murrabi in the Shadhuliyya Sufi order, a position of deep responsibility for guiding people and communities. Their teaching today is gratitude. Latif and Nura, welcome, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for that generous and effusive introduction. I hope we can live up to all of that. Goodness. Alhamdulillah. Today we're going to bring through a beautiful teaching on gratitude, and so many of you probably have been on with the many times that gratitude has been presented. This will have some of the same elements that have been taught before, but we're also going to share from Fazia's book on her book Ramadan. I did have a photo of it, but I don't know what happened to it. We don't have the book, but we have the page number. And this is from her offering for the 9th day of Ramadan on Shakur, gratefulness. It's page 58. And end with the Fatiha. Latif?
Allow yourself to relax. Consciously turn more to Allah. Consciously allow Allah to help us bow deeper, receive deeper His light, His compassion, His mercy. Fatiha. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amin. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ibrahim Rasulullah, Musa, Rasulullah, Isa, Rasulullah, alayhi salatu Allah. And we're going to repeat Allah's name a few times, helping us, helping our heart come closer and closer to Allah, to bow deeper and deeper, to efface, to annihilate ourselves in His light. Allah, 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 Allah. No effort, no trying, no doing, simply practicing being with His light, being with His presence. Allah, 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 no effort, simply receiving. Allah, Allah, Allah. Very gently allow yourself to feel your heart without thinking about it, without wondering about it. Feel your heart. Allow Allah to help you feel your heart. Be with Allah, be with the feeling. Allah, 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 Allah. The reading from Fazia's book. It's written for the 9th day of Ramadan. The subject is Shakur. gratefulness. All the different teachings that we do, that I do. This has been for quite some time and still is near the top, if not at the top of the teachings I'm able to participate in. There's such depth to it. My heart craves to be with this light again. So the suggestion is be with the law in your. Reading starts with the reference to the Quran, ayat 14:7. Shakur, gratefulness. If you are grateful to me, me being the law, if you are grateful to me, I shall most certainly give you more and more. We experience God's love in a deeply touching way when Allah, in His mercy, puts gratitude in our hearts. We don't put it there. We can think about it. We can wish for it. When we notice it's there, let's try to remember where it came from. Came from the source of it, from Allah. And He puts gratitude in our heart and inspires us to praise Him. And as Allah walks us deeper, as our heart becomes more and more sensitive, we start to notice more and more what's going on in our heart. We sense Allah in our heart. Praise pretty much comes automatically. Praise and gratitude. Back to the reading. Keep your heart open and turned to Allah. Something we can aspire to practice 24/7. Turn to Him in taqwa, aware of His closeness. Allah has been with us since before we were born. His closeness has been with us, still is. What a beautiful thing to remember. What a beautiful thing to ponder. What an incredible gift. Gratitude, shakur, opens a space in our hearts which lets us experience that Allah is constantly pulling us to Him through His love. Open to that. Ask Allah to help you feel that to comprehend that Allah is always working to pull us closer and closer to Him. So we don't have to try, we don't have to effort. We just basically need to get out of our own. It's all here. It's all now, in this moment, constantly pulling us to Him through His love, through His love, not our actions, not our efforts, not our desires, through His love. Gratitude heals the heart. It is to turn clearly to the giver of all gifts. And yet, we take so many things for granted and often only acknowledge our blessings once they are gone. And our blessings don't leave us. Our blessings come from Allah. Allah is always with us. When we notice our blessings leaving or reducing, it's coming from us, beloved. We're responsible. Gratitude heals the heart. It is to turn clearly to the giver of all gifts. And yet, we take so many things for granted and often only acknowledge our blessings once they are gone. Ayat 32:9. He, Allah, endows you with hearing and sight and feelings as well as minds. Yet, how seldom are you grateful? In the Quran, Allah shows us how Luqman, the wise, prepared his child for life here on earth by saying, "Be grateful unto God," for he is grateful, for he who is grateful unto God is but grateful for the good of his own self, whereas he who chooses to be ungrateful ought to know that verily God is self-sufficient, ever to be praised. Gratitude is a power which serves us, for Allah has no need of our gratefulness. Allah has no need for us or anything we have. Allah. It is a humble offering to the One, to Allah, who gives us everything and needs nothing. It is gratefulness which helps us take off our masks of pride, arrogance, and vain complacency. The month of Ramadan exists so that gratefulness may spread in our hearts. For it was during that month that Allah sent us the Quran to guide us. Yet another one of his gifts.
Today, Latif and I were at a park relaxing and being with Allah. We were sitting in the car, and the car was up against brush and a cedar tree and some other low growing things. And so it provided protection for the birds that were in front of us, that Allah was showing his great love. And it just brought tears to our eyes, what we were witnessing. And it goes to gratitude for what we take for granted, that nature just, I mean, nature is completely with Allah. And what we witnessed was we first became aware of the male cardinal singing his beautiful song. And then we became aware that his mate was a little ways away and she was making her little chipping sounds. And then the next thing we saw was they both flew right in front of us down on the ground. And she stood there and he looked around on the ground and he found something and he fed her. And then he found a few other little tidbits and he fed her. And then she flew off. And the next thing we saw was she had some nesting material in her beak. And she went up into the cedar tree and did whatever she did. You could see the branches kind of wiggling around. And he was still down there on the ground waiting, kind of looking around. She came back down and he fed her again. And we were so touched by that because we just, up close and personal like that, we just don't get to witness that. And I don't know if I've ever witnessed it quite like that. It was so touching and it was so real, of Allah's love being shown to us, how he cares for his creatures. And we are part of that. And we don't know how to receive like they do, like nature does. They have no ego. They just are. They're just in a stream with Allah's light. It brought up such gratitude in our hearts, and I wanted to share that with you. Thank you for letting me.
Gratitude is a power which serves us. For Allah has no need of our gratefulness. Allah has no need for us. It is a human offering to the one, to Allah, who gives us everything and needs nothing. It is gratefulness which helps us take off our masks of pride, arrogance, and vain complacency. The month of Ramadan exists so that gratefulness may spread in our hearts. For it was during that month that he sent us the Quran to guide us. It is especially in this month that Allah gives us a framework within which we can restore the balance between materialism and spirituality in our life, and loosen the shackles of this world. Let's just take a moment and ask Allah to help us feel that, sense that, loosening the shackles of the world. Nothing achieves this like distance from all things external and opening the heart to gratitude. Gratefulness makes us rich. We start to treasure all that we have and every one of our capabilities. Allah gave all of that to us. And we also see the blessings therein. As we walk deeper, as Allah brings us closer and closer, we start to notice Him, sense Him, feel Him more and more subtly. Throughout our day, our week, our life. Abstinence during Ramadan also teaches us to treasure the gifts in our life, which we all too often tend to take for granted, and which would normally not summon any thanks in our heart. The water when we break the fast, the dates and the bread after the thirst and the hunger. Gratitude is not a feeling, but an attitude. Let's allow our hearts to take that concept in. Let's allow our hearts to let that concept dig a little deeper root into our heart. To be grateful when we get what we want is not really gratitude. Very, very superficial gratitude. But the real gratitude, it doesn't even touch you. Gratitude is not only to see the half full bottle after having seen it empty, it is also to experience the underlying wisdom of the empty bottle. Allow our heart to take in that light a little more. The wisdom of the empty. True gratitude can only come into our heart and our spirit when we trust Allah. True gratitude needs us to trust. knowing that whatever comes is given by the one who plans everything with love, wisdom, and kindness. It's all been planned. There are so many things in life which escape our immediate understanding. So often do we doubt and even despair about what we are not being given or what is taking away from us. So often we stay on the surface of things. We forget about the depth that's already with us, that's already in us. It is especially when we fast and abstain from things otherwise permitted, when our life is suddenly lent an entirely different rhythm and direction, that our strength grows and we become certain that difficulties should not be seen as merely negative. We need to live those experiences in order to grow. We need those experiences to grow. Those disappointments, those hurts, those challenges, those are each hidden gifts from Allah to help us grow. Gratitude can help us cope more easily with those situations. It can alter our perspective and transform us. Alhamdulillah. Could you do a little more zikr for our hearts, Nura?
Well, what a beautiful reading Allah is bringing through for us today. And there's a fullness to it. So let's drop a little more deeply and relax. Let go of any efforting our mind is doing to take this in, and just allow our deeper self, our deeper heart, to feel close with it. We'll do the dhikr of shakur, the quality. And of course, we won't be doing it. We will be receiving it, starting with the crown of our head, where the light comes in, the light of shakur. Ya Allah, Ya Shakur. 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 Allah, Allah, Allah. Allah, Ya Shakur. Allah, Allah, Ya Shakur. Allah, Allah, Ya Shakur. Allah, Allah, Shakur, Ya Shakur, Ya Shakur. Allah, Allah, Ya Shakur. Allah, Allah, Ya Shakur. Allah, Allah, Ya Shakur. Allah, Allah, Ya Shakur. Shakur.
Allah, Allah. Ask Allah again if it feels right in your heart to help you feel your heart, not to think about it, not to analyze it, but just notice, how does my heart feel? Please help me notice. Help me to experience healing. Help me to stay in my heart while I'm doing that. Help me to stay away from my busy, busy mind. Thank you, Allah. Back to the reading. Allah. I'm going to back up one sentence. We need to live those experiences in order to grow and mature. We need those experiences. We can practice, and it's difficult to be grateful for those experiences. And some of them are very painful. With practice, with Allah's help and guidance, you will notice the pain lessens and lessens. And our thoughts of the pain, our story that we have built around the pain, transforms over time with Allah's help and guidance. And that starts to wither and die, and that starts to disappear. We need to live those experiences in order to grow. So, beloveds, the pain, the discomfort, we're so resistant to. With Allah's help, He helps us notice there's a gift in here. Ah, shakur, ah, shakur. Our strength grows, and we become certain that difficulties should not be seen as merely negative, which for most of us is our go-to automatic response. Something we don't like, something we don't want, something doesn't feel good to us. we put it in the negative category. And in doing that, we're turning our back on the law. Thus can faith and gratefulness transform that which is difficult into something positive. Gratefulness and patience is faith in Allah, is surrender and trust. It is seeing the blessing despite not understanding it. So for a while, this is referring to kind of working on blind faith. We know we're supposed to do this. We want to do this. And we still are listening to negative voices. They lessen, the intensity lessens with practice, with the law. Thus can faith and gratefulness transform that which is difficult into something positive. Gratefulness and patience is faith in Allah, is surrender and trust. It is seeing the blessing despite not understanding it. So in the walking, there's this period of time where we don't have any understanding at all of the blessing. And then we start to get a little sneak preview, a little tiny taste of it, which helps keep us with our practices. And Allah deepens our practices. So our perspective deepens, our faith deepens. Both of them deepen and transform that which is difficult into something positive. They get transformed into blessings. That's not right, the words. They're already a blessing. What gets transformed is our view of it, is our take on it, our understanding of it. That's what changes. A blessing from Allah is a blessing from Allah. There's no other conditions or qualifications with it. We need to live those experiences in order to grow and mature. Gratitude can help us cope more easily with those situations. It can alter our perspective and transform us. Thus, can faith and gratefulness transform that which is difficult into something positive. Gratefulness and patience is faith in Allah, is surrender and trust. It is seeing the blessing despite not understanding it, or not yet. It is a calm, silent, peaceful feeling. Those feelings are in each of us, beloved. Those calm, peaceful, silent feelings are in each of us. For a while, we just don't notice them because our attention has been shifted to something else, something that's not as pleasant, something that we don't like, that we don't want. And with practice, those soften. Gratefulness and patience is faith in Allah, is surrender and trust. It is seeing the blessing despite not understanding it. It is a wonderful. Allah only tests us out of love. Allah is testing us often. It's always coming from His love. For quite some time, that isn't how we recognize it. It isn't how we think of it. But it's always out of love. That's moving our hearts to and fro until we always find our way home, regardless of all other conditions and distractions. Again, it's a process. It takes time, patience, perseverance, love, mercy, compassion. It's a process until our gratitude no longer depends on outer or ever fluctuating circumstance, but on God, which is immutable and eternal. It's a process. Can't emphasize that part enough. Or maybe the reason I'm emphasizing it so much is it's such a beautiful reminder for Latif, who still needs much help with all of this. Gratitude and patience protects us from the weaknesses of our own lower instinct. Remembering the beauty of gratitude as shakur, it removes from our hearts burden of discontent. Imam Ali says, when blessings come to you, do not drive them away by being ungrateful. That takes practice. The blessed month of Ramadan is the best time for us to reflect upon Allah, to whom all thanks are due, and how we can express them to our fellow human beings, to our fellow travelers. Gratitude manifests itself when we become providers and nurturers for the hungry and the needy. It shows itself in the way we behave towards God's creation.
And the hungry and the needy can be right within our own families, our own community, the people that live in our neighborhood. It can be so close, beloveds. Let us support each other in receiving the guidance that Allah gives, where He shows us how to be grateful for what He showers upon us and to share it with whomever he guides us to share it with. Amen.
Abdullah, is this about the time we should start and prepare for this zikr?
If you'd like, we have a little bit more time, but it's up to you guys, whatever you want to do.
Alhamdulillah, we'll go a little bit longer.
Okay.
Gratitude manifests itself when we become providers and nurturers instead of us being complainers and whiners, which maybe it's just me, but I have multiple PhD degrees in whining and complaining. Gratitude manifests itself when we become providers and nurturers for the hungry, for the needy. For the hungry and needy, just not of material things, of spiritual things. So many people are hungry for that, needy for it, and many don't even realize it. They need help. Our beloved prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, teaches us, whoever is not grateful to the people is not grateful to Allah. A lot of depth in that statement. Gratefulness also means to be awake to all the qualities you carry, to bow before them all as you would bow before your guests, and to use them in the best possible manner. He's encouraging us to become more aware of them, accept them in a deeper and deeper way. So show your gratefulness by putting your spiritual and mental talents to the best possible use, both for yourself and for others. Recognize the talents we've been given. Recognize them more and more. Take them out of the closet more often. Use them, spread them, share them more and more often. It does wonders for us. The law tells us, the ayat is 82, 6 through 8. Oh man, oh woman, what is it that lures thee away from thy bountiful sustainer, Allah, who has created thee? What's luring us away, beloved? Allah, the one who has created thee and formed thee in accordance with what thou art meant to be. All of us are meant to be that. To carry the deeper and deeper light, share it more and more, and shape thy nature in just proportions having put thee together in whatever form Allah willed. Allah, in whatever form Allah willed thee to have. And he reminds us time and time again of his all-encompassing love. Ayat 5:6. God does not want to impose any hardship on you. I think that's a good thing to write down and keep close at hand for reminders. Allah doesn't want to impose any hardship on you. So when we notice or feel like we're in a hardship, we go to Allah and we ask Him about it. It's just our interpretation of it that's making it such a hardship. But Allah wants to make you pure and to bestow upon you the full measure of His blessings, so that you might have cause to be grateful. May our fast and our gratefulness help us outwit our egos. I think most of us, or maybe it's just me, needs a lot more practice outwitting my ego, our ego's presumptuousness, and remain constantly aware of God's kindness. Ayat 3:123. Remain then conscious of God, so that you might have cause to be grateful. Nura and I thank you, beloveds. Thank you for letting us be with you. Thank you for letting us be closer and closer to your light. You're walking incredible gifts for us. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Enjoy the zikr.